internet, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Nutty Theorist, and today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. So I have midterms this week, so I was unable to fully research a case to the extent that I want to research it. So today we're gonna be talking about the top 10 unsolved mysteries of all time. I do plan on making full videos on all of these. Number one is the disappearance of Maura Murray. So Maura was a 21-year-old student at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and she went missing in 2004 in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. To this day, the case has remained unsolved. No one has found any body, any sign of her dead or alive, but the Oxygen Channel actually has a full show on her and the disappearance, and it's really good. They're investigating all sorts of angles, so I would highly suggest watching it. I have been obsessed with it. The researchers are really good, and they interview people who have never been publicly interviewed, so it's really interesting. I am planning on doing a full video with my opinion on what happened after the miniseries is done, because it has really influenced a lot of what I think about the case, so that will be up once the miniseries is over. Number two is the strange case of John Titor. John Titor claimed to be a time traveler from the year 2036. He first appeared on November 2nd, 2000 on an internet public forum claiming to be a time traveler. He posted pictures of his time machine and the time machine's manual, which actually physicists have come out since and said, yeah, this guy's physics is, it's all right. He also started posting predictions of what would happen, and some of them were very, very wrong. Like, by this point, the US had another civil war. But some of them eerily were correct. For example, he said that a certain computer that had just come out at the time had a secret function that could translate languages and basically like Google Translate, that the company did not make public because they didn't want other people to steal their creation. And then the company actually came out and said, yeah, this is actually a secret function. It was on our computers the entire time. No one knew about it. So skeptics do cite his wrong predictions as proof that he is not actually a time traveler, and it was all an internet hoax. But I don't know, this case is really interesting. It's not necessarily a case, but it's a strange occurrence, and I will definitely be making a video about it soon. Number three, the unsolved Borden murders. On August 4th, 1892 in Fall River, Massachusetts, Andrew Borden and his wife, Abby, were murdered in their home with a hatchet. It was suspected that Andrew's daughter, Lizzie, actually had committed the murders, and she was actually brought to trial, but she was acquitted of all charges and she was free. Since then, there have been many theories as to who could have committed the crime, but no one has been charged and the case still remains unsolved. Number four is the infamous Jack the Ripper, and I don't think you can have an unsolved mystery case without including Jack the Ripper on it. So Jack the Ripper is the most infamous serial killer pretty much of all time. He was the first modern serial killer, I believe, but he was active in the Whitechapel area of London. He's starting in 1888 to 1991. He had 5 confirmed victims, but it's suspected that he actually killed more because at the time there wasn't DNA testing, and pretty much anything, if you really try hard enough, could be linked to him. So the name Jack the Ripper originated from someone writing to the press claiming to be the murderer, although people call into question the authenticity of the writer because people suspect that he was actually poor, and in the letter which he names himself, he was very literate, but no one knows who he is, so we can't say if it's real or not, and the case is unsolved. Number five is a horrifying murder of the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short, or more famously known as the Black Dahlia, was found murdered in a neighborhood in Los Angeles, California. She was found severely mutilated, naked, and actually severed into 2 parts. She was found in a vacant lot of Lemont Park area, and there was a phone call made after the murders to the editor of the Los Angeles Examiner, basically praising him for how well he had covered the case, and this was someone claiming to be the killer. Later, there was a manila envelope found addressed to the Los Angeles Examiner from someone claiming to be the killer. Inside were Short's birth certificates, passports, business cards, and photographs. Now, Short was a wanderer. She didn't really have a solid home, so she carried all of her belongings with her, which is how the killer would have gotten her possessions. There were a few suspects, but none that the police could tie conclusively to the murders. A lot of people actually attribute that to the corruption within the LAPD. The crime remains unsolved. Number 6 is the Zodiac killer. Other than Jack the Ripper, I really don't think that there are many serial killers that are more notable than the Zodiac. Now, this was the case that actually got me hooked on crime and unsolved mysteries and murders. The self-named Zodiac terrorized neighborhoods in Northern California from the late 1960s through the 1970s. He had 5 confirmed killings and left 2 severely injured, but he claimed to have 37 victims. He continuously sent letters and ciphers to the press to taunt the police. Only 1 out of 4 of the ciphers were actually solved. And although the police have had many suspects over the years, and armchair detectives all have their favorite suspect as to who they think is the Zodiac killer, no one has been conclusively tied to the murders, leaving everyone who is remotely interested in unsolved cases absolutely obsessed with this case and trying to find a solution. I've actually been listening to a great podcast. It's called Criminology Podcast. It's on the podcast app in the App Store if you have that, and probably on your preferred Android device podcast. So I would definitely check it out. I will leave a link to their Twitter page. They just came out with, I think, the 11th episode, all on the Zodiac killer, and next week is the last episode of the season. So I would definitely check that out. I have been absolutely obsessed with it. They do great work. So again, I will leave a link in the description down below where you can find out more information on that. Number 7 is the feet of British Columbia. Over the years, severed feet have been found washed ashore on the beaches of British Columbia. Although it isn't uncommon for bodies to be found washed ashore on beaches, the amount of feet that have washed up on these shores, all in running sneakers, have led some to speculate that there might be a serial killer out there targeting joggers. So if you ever do find yourself on the beaches of British Columbia and you see a running shoe, maybe don't pick it up because there might just be a severed foot inside. Number 8 is the unsolved mystery of D.B. Cooper. The case of D.B. Cooper is the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. aviation history. So a man going as Dan Cooper successfully hijacked a Boeing 727, managed to get $200,000, and jumped out of the plane with a parachute. His remains and identity have never been found. Number 9 are the murders of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. 2 of the most famous rappers of all time were murdered within a few months of each other. Both of them got shot while waiting at a traffic light. It is rumored that the murders were connected. Maybe someone was trying to get back at Biggie for the murder of Tupac Shakur, or maybe the same person just wanted them both dead. There have been a few conspiracy theories about the murders, the most famous of which is that they are both still alive and faked their deaths. But as of right now, neither case has been solved, nor can we conclusively say that they are alive. Number 10 is the Oklahoma Girl Scout murders. So this was originally the video I was planning on posting today, but I wasn't able to finish the research thanks to midterms. Love college. So it will be uploaded next Monday instead of today. So in the summer of 1977, in a Girl Scout camp called Camp Scott in Oklahoma, 3 campers were murdered in the middle of the night on their first night of camp. Their bodies were found thrown on a trail leading to the showers, and there was someone that the police actually tied to the murders, but he was acquitted of all charges. He was put in jail for previous crimes that he had committed, that he was guilty of, and he died there a couple years later. But other than him, the police have had no other suspects that they solidly believe committed the murders. So that was today's video. I hope you found it interesting. It's kind of a different style, and we'll be getting back to the types of videos that I have been doing prior to this one next week. I'm not sure what Thursday's video is going to be. We'll have to see just how far I get on the research into a conspiracy theory this week. So it might be another top 10 video. Wait and see. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Let me know if it is a top 10 what you want to see. You can tweet me at @NuttyTheorist. All my social media links are in the description down below. Follow me on all of those. So if you're interested in any of these cases, make sure you subscribe because I will definitely be making videos going in depth on all of them sometime in the future. I upload every Monday and Thursday, so make sure you don't miss any by hitting that notification bell, and I will see you on Thursday.